Hi guys, welcome back to the Ravenous Rebellion Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I love each and every single one of you. Okay, so I got this message about a supernatural entity ripping a person or a group of people to shreds. Okay, that's what I got. So I wanted to pull the cards and see what this was all about. Okay, so I have this huge deck. I barely ever use, because every time I use this deck, it's like so dark that sometimes I have to stop the reading. I have to stop in the middle of the reading. But we have a King of Pentacles here, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, with the Wheel of Fortune. So this could be a boss, this could be a father figure, this could be a husband, okay, this could be an uncle, all right, a masculine figure, this could be an ex. But yeah, they're being, I'm hearing traumatized, but I'm also hearing terrorized by some type of supernatural entity that they conjured to come against you. Okay, they may have done this at night. They may have done this at night, maybe when you were sleeping, or maybe when they thought that you were sleeping. But regardless of what, they summoned this entity to traumatize you. Okay, to traumatize you. Now, I'm going to say that this person is fairly new to working with this entity. They did not get all the information that they needed before conjuring up this entity. They didn't know how to get rid of it once they summoned it. Okay, they didn't know how to, I'm hearing, protect their own energy. So what happened was that they summoned the entity for you, but it attached itself to them. Okay, now you may have experienced being uncomfortable for a little bit, maybe have the feeling of something or someone looking at you, but in a creepy way, like in the shadows. Okay, they wanted you to be in fear. They wanted you to hold on to things that no longer serve you, maybe feelings of guilt, feelings of pressure, feelings of anxiety, feelings of doubt. Okay, when it came to you taking action or you moving forward on to something that you want to do, something that you want to create. Maybe they wanted you to feel like your whole world was ending, or you were about to like pass on. Okay, but the main reason they summoned this entity was because they wanted your world to end. So even if you're living, breathing, walking, eating, drinking on this earth, you would have the feeling of being doomed. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, we have the 10 of Cups here. This could also be a family member or someone that you have a family with, okay, that betrayed you. You may have been in some type of romantic connection with this person. You may have been, maybe even, I'm hearing, even at some point in love with this person, or this person may have been in love with you if it is a family member. No incest, no incest. I don't know how they say it in English, but in my country they say bagay kabuit. So it's like, it is incest. So what I'm saying is, I don't want to trigger anyone's trauma by talking about this, but this is some energy that needs to be exposed. This is some energy that needs to be spoken about. This is an energy that's been plaguing humanity for a very long time, okay? And it keeps happening. I was even reading one time that in, I don't know if it's in North Carolina, that child marriage is legal. I think it was in North Carolina that I read about it. So it came up in, it came up recently in the news, or about some politics or something, but I wasn't aware that you can be married at the age of 14. And what's really sending me, in other words, is that with your parents' consent. So your parents can consent that you get married, that you be married by the age of, at the age of 14, 15, 16, 17, something like that. That's what I read. Now, what life experience does one have when you're practically sold, okay? Because I can't imagine like two 14-year-olds getting married. Like, what's the purpose? And I'm also thinking that most of the child marriages is the girls, the young girls, that's getting married at that age. More girls are getting married at that age. And I'm thinking it's to like grown ass men. Okay? So I'm saying all of this to say that this could be a family member that may have crossed the line with you, that's still holding onto your energy, okay? They may have conjured up a demon or some type of entity to follow you everywhere that you go. So if they put a curse on you when they violated you, the curse was that for you to never find love, for you to never find a person to love you, to respect you, to just to build like a family with, like a happy home with. So if you're walking around and you're not understanding like why every relationship is failing, why I can't get to a certain point with a significant other before everything go awry, why I can't find happiness, why I can't have children, why am I barren, why I can't find love, why all these things when it comes to your emotional fulfillment, is this family member that has cursed you, okay? They've cursed you and they've crossed you. And I feel like saying that the curse is being broken. Okay, you may have been under this curse from the time you were like maybe 7, or it could have been 17. Okay, because we have the 10 and then we have the 7. For some of you, it could have been since you were 10. Okay, that you've been cursed with this energy. This person has placed this energy onto you. And under the deck, I have death. So they wanted you to endure this type of suffering until you died. So another thing that's coming to me now is like, if you're in doom and gloom for your entire life, being cursed from since you were 7, 10, or even 17 years old, and you're walking around maybe at your big age now, maybe you're probably like 40, 50, even 60, I would say, and you're not dead, because that's what they wanted for you, it means that eventually the curse is going to weaken, the curse is going to break, and someone's gonna die, but it won't be you. Okay? Yeah, they wanted your love life to be empty. They wanted you to have no hope in being in a fruitful relationship, a relationship that's going to help you grow, a relationship that's going to help you expand, a relationship that's going to allow you to become the best version of yourself. Now, granted that you don't need a relationship to do all of these things, we're all here for partner. We're all here, I wouldn't say for partnership, but when the Most High created Adam and Eve, when the Most High created Adam, they also created Eve, because the Most High knew that for some reason, for a lot of reasons, Adam needed that companionship. Adam needed that, that love, the nurturing, the caring energy of the feminine. Okay? And the Most High provided that for Adam, to Adam. Although we know that, well, in the Bible it says that Eve did some fuck shit or whatever, and Adam, and the whole the rest of the story, how it goes, to demonize women. And I'm also drawing reference to our girl Lilith. She was with the shits, but I'm just saying that the more popular woman that we know of, because when you think of Adam, you don't think of Lilith. When you the majority, when they think of Adam, they think of Eve. Okay, a lot of us know about Lilith, but the majority, popular demand is Eve. Okay, so when a family member, especially a masculine family member, violates another family member, female, it's like they're traumatizing this feminine energy into not being able to trust the opposite sex. Now, sometimes that's why we find a lot of feminine going towards other feminines. Okay? And I could say it's vice versa, but what I picked up and what I saw was a masculine. Okay? It was a masculine that violated a family member. Okay? It was a young girl. Causing that type of trauma would cause that feminine to grow up resenting men, not trusting men. And growing up, you're not trusting men. It's like it makes it more difficult for you to be able to connect to men and to cultivate healthy relationships with men, because you're already damaged by someone you thought that you could trust. Okay? So what's happening here is that the person who violated you, they're thriving off of you not being able to be at peace and not being able to cultivate a healthy relationship. Maybe you've been in relationships, but all of these relationships were toxic. You end up either being abused, you end up being with someone who is very narcissistic, you end up being with someone who they don't even know how to like express love. So a lot of healing had to take place, because what I'm getting here is that you survived this spell, this curse. You survived it. Okay? And now that it is in reverse, the person that violated you the entire life it's like a tower. It's like a tower happening for them. But what I'm seeing is not them having to jump out of the tower. It's like the Most High is flipping the tower upside down, okay, and dropping it on them, if you get what I mean. Because in a regular tarot, it's like they're you see, when you see the tower is standing upright, and you see two people jumping out of the tower. But what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is that there will be no recovery. Even though the tower is upside down, there will be no recovery for this person. Okay? And for a lot of you, you're experiencing this. Either you're experiencing this right now, or this is something that you're going to be experiencing in a few days. Okay, give or take 3-4 days. You're gonna get news about your predator. Okay? Because they're under judgment. It was about time that they were under judgment, and I feel like the reason that they're under judgment is because you healed. You became whole with yourself. Okay? You decided to not blame yourself for what you experienced and not blame other people for what you experienced. Okay? You were able to take accountability, even though you were very innocent at the time that happened to you. Okay? you realize that in order to let this go, you had to realize that it wasn't your fault. It could have been different circumstances that caused it. It could have been maybe you were naive, but as a child you're naive, and people take advantage of your naivety, okay? And in this day and age, like, nothing surprises me anymore, okay? If it's coming out now, it's not something that just started happening. It's just being exposed now because more people are waking up. More people are going towards spirituality. More people are going towards finding the truth. So a lot that's been hidden is now being exposed, okay? And people are under judgment. People are running scared. There are people who want to apologize, but they know there's no way for them to apologize. Those who have already crossed over, who have wronged you, they want to come to you and apologize to you, maybe on the 5D or through synchronicities or through music. So all of these things are like they're being exposed, and they fought so hard. They thought they had everyone convinced that you were the problem or you asked for it. You know, a lot of times on the internet, the victims are always looked at as the problem, okay, and not the perpetrators. The perpetrators can walk free around, living their best life, doing, you know, continuing to destroy and disrupt other people's lives, and they get praised for it, okay? If they do get accosted, they only spend like a little bit of time. They don't do the entire time. They don't go through the tragedy that they created for the victim, okay? And this has to end because your wish came true. You may have been holding on to the bitterness, the anger, the resentment. You kept holding on to it. And when you finally released it, okay? When you finally released it, or that's what you're doing right now. When you finally release it, or when you released it, you received an amazing gift. You received something from the Most High that you know that you would never be able to receive in this realm if you were still holding on to that trauma, that pain, okay, that resentment, that bitterness, that hurt, okay? So you released it and you received something big, all right? Now, for some of you, you may have received a gift of prophecy. You may have received a gift of prophecy. You becoming a prophet. So what I'm getting here is that for a lot of you who experienced rape and abuse and molestation and stuff like that, a lot of you have a story, and maybe you were too shameful, maybe you felt guilty that you would be blamed for whatever it is that you went through, you have a story, okay? And your story is going to help millions of people who have experienced what you experienced. Okay? So if something happened to you when you were a child, just going through the different stages and being where you are right now, all the challenges, you will be able to inspire others. And I feel like what I'm getting here is that I feel like before a situation happens, another situation like this happens to another child or another unsuspecting victim, you're able to call it out. So once you call it out, the perpetrator, either they're gonna be found, either they're gonna change their mind or change their plan or something. So it's like you're saving individuals out here. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you were supposed to do. That's why you experience what you experience, to save others. You could be saving children from, or unsuspecting victims from, predators like step-parents, like family members, like dads and moms and people who are around your kids or the victims. So by you calling them out, it's like they know that they're gonna be found out, even before they did it. So a lot of them, they might be brave and act like nobody can stop them and they're not gonna suffer the consequences or whatever. But if you do your part, none of them are going to, on those you pick up on, none of them are going to escape if they do go forward with the plot or the plan against these children or against these victims. Okay? So make sure you do your part. Make sure you do your part. All right, let's see what else we have here. We have death under the deck, so a lot of change, a lot of transformation. Ending of the old into the new. Stuff that was kept secret to protect perpetrators and abusers, they're no longer able to hide under the bushel. They have to come out, regardless of how long it took in order for you to complete this part of your journey. They had to come out. It had to be exposed. And again, when you speak, when you use your voice, when you speak out, people are going to listen and they're going to take note. Okay? Holy Spirit, what other messages do we have here concerning this supernatural entity? What other messages do you have? Yeah. Like I told you, Those who are strategically planning on hurting kids, unsuspecting victims, they had a strategy on how to do it. Okay, maybe they had help even from, for some of you, even your own family members were involved. Okay, for some of you, even your own family members were involved. Or if your family members were not involved, they knew of the incident but did nothing. Okay, they kept wearing this mask. Okay, it seemed like the narrative was to get rid of you, or the narrative is to get rid of whoever it is that they're planning to do this next to. Okay, this to keep this generational curse going. Obviously, whoever that I'm talking to, they obviously had to have some type of financial windfall connected to you being violated. There had to be some type of financial windfall, okay, that was anticipated, or that they probably did receive it. Okay, they probably did receive some type of material wealth when it came to violating you, stealing your innocence. Okay, but all the masks are falling off. Everyone involved is being exposed, okay, about this. Yeah, it was a supernatural disturbance. It was a supernatural they conjured up this supernatural entity. I'm even hearing that they were smiling in your face. The supernatural entity, whatever it is that they conjured up, like I told you before, it was to keep you in doom and gloom energy, always losing friends, losing partners, losing jobs, losing homes. Everything that you put your hand on, you were supposed to lose. Everything that you could have accomplished, maybe yes, you would have had it for a little bit and then it would just like slip through your fingers. That's that type of entity that was unleashed on you by this predator, by your perpetrator. This is something that's been going on in the bloodline for a very long time. They felt like it was their way of being recognized, their way of gaining merit, the way of strengthening the gifts of manipulation, their way of keeping you stressed and overburdened in order for you not to be able to see the forest for the trees, not being able to heal, not being able to come up with brand new ways of being, brand new ways of looking at life. Okay, you may have had some type of it's something about yourself. You may have looked at yourself in a certain way. Okay, so this is telling me that they cause you to have problems with your self-esteem, your confidence. Okay, You always saw yourself as you were the problem, and they may have even convinced you or convinced other people to convince you that you were the problem. Okay, they may have said that you were crazy. Okay, but let me tell you something. When an individual gaslights you, okay, and then they turn around and say and tell you or tell other people or make other people believe that you're crazy, 100% of the time they're doing witchcraft on you. They're doing some type of domination magic on you. They're doing some type of spell on you. Maybe they wanted an entire community to look at you like you're crazy. Okay? You're the crazy one, but they emulate everything that you do. They can't keep their eyes off of you. They can't live one day. If you do have an online platform, whatever it is, or you live in a certain community, they can't keep their eyes off of you. But you're the one that's crazy. Anyone that tried to convince you after they gaslight you, okay, into getting a reaction out of you or whatever it is, and they go around telling people that you're crazy, 100, not even 99.99999% of the time, 100% of the time, they're doing witchcraft on you. Okay? Now I'm not talking about people who have mental issues, that's been diagnosed with mental issues. Okay? Because we do know that certain, and sometimes, I don't know if it happens over here, but where I'm from in the Caribbean, when you see a crazy person on the street walking crazy, begging, stuff like that, blood was spilled for this person to end up like that. Now it's taken me even deeper. You see, that's why I don't like to use this deck. I'm gonna show you something. If you think I'm bullshitting, I'm gonna show you something. Look at this. Can you guys see this? Blood was spilt here. Now, look at the Sun card. This is the Magician card. This is the Sun card. This Sun card, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. I don't want to bring it too far or whatever. Let me see. This card, right? This one right here. You see how this looks like some type of hole? It looks like an anus or something, right? And then we have this figure on the ground. And then we have this monster, this demon on top. So this looks like this looks like someone being forced. Okay? This is someone being forced into some type of sexual engagement. Now, to cause, of course, to cause a natural disaster to their life, okay? So all this is planned out, okay? So if you have your kids, they're going around maybe extended family members, extended family, they're going around maybe in the neighborhood. These predators are waiting for the exact moment that when your child hits a certain age, when you're not around, to force themselves onto your children or onto the victim. Okay? Now, if this child, not if, because majority of children being still having the innocence, that being ripped from them is usually some type of sacrifice for the predator. Now, if they can even manifest a child in the process, it gives them even more power. Okay? So, okay. They're saying that Holy Spirit, what is it? So it's an ongoing thing. It's not something that they just woke up one day and decided to do. It's an ongoing thing. This is something that's been in the family bloodline for a long time. This is something that's been plaguing the family for a long time. Okay? So it's telling me that this demon has been terrorizing certain individuals in this family. They may skip a generation or two, but it's something that keeps recurring. Okay? And anytime like anytime one of their minions pass away, they attach to another person but in that same bloodline. So the other person that they attach to perform the same acts that your original predator they repeat the actions of your predator. So this curse is just being handed down from generations to generations to generations. It's in their blood. They can't stop. Okay? They can't stop. But what I'm getting here is that there was an ancestor before you that also broke this curse off of your bloodline. Okay. So what I'm trying to explain here, or what they're telling me, is that you may have, okay, but you do. You have your mother's bloodline and you have your father's bloodline. One of these bloodlines are tainted. One of these bloodlines are tainted, or it could be both of these bloodlines are tainted. One with being the perpetrator and the other being the victim. Okay? Is what I'm getting here. Now, I was picking up that one of your ancestors, or maybe you had an ancestor who was actually married, who actually experienced a beautiful, loving relationship, family. They had broken this curse. Okay? They had broken this curse already off of your bloodline. But there was another individual who participated in something supernatural, and that curse reattached itself to your bloodline. Oh my goodness. Okay. Holy Spirit, what other messages do we have here for the collective? What other messages do we have for the collective? You know, usually when I do the readings, I'm just like going through, bow, bow, bow. And this one is like, hold up. We need you to see everything, okay? We need you to see everything that's happening here. And this is why I feel like I'm not even like just doing the reading. I feel like I'm actually like channeling the energy, and it's very heavy. It's very heavy. But it's my obligation. It's something that I have to do. Okay? Because there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to unload here. Okay? And I don't think that I would have been drawn to doing this reading if it was not imperative that whoever this reading comes across, to be mindful. Be mindful, okay? Or pay attention. For some of you, you've already gone through this. For some of you, this is something that's happening right now. And for some, this is something that's in the near future. Because they're giving me the tower. They're giving me the tower. And we know when the tower is about to hit, it don't take 3-4 weeks, months, years to hit. This is something that's happening like in a few days, in a matter of days. Okay? Holy Spirit, what other messages do we have here for the collective? What other messages? So the perpetrator may already be either grooming someone, or they're already looking at someone, or they're already putting the plan in place in order to violate someone. Okay? Holy Spirit, what other messages do we have here? For gain. Like I said, I feel like it's for some monetary, because what they do when they spill blood from innocent children like that, they're gaining. They're gaining, especially material shit, stuff that's on this earth, like finances, cars, houses, you know, luxury off of children, off of innocence. Children's innocence. Okay? I'm also feeling the energy where this is giving me the energy of, you know how they said like 27 children died in Texas or something like that? Yo, listen. Let me just keep going here. Holy Spirit, what other messages? I told you, when I pull out this deck is a monster. Okay? This deck is a monster. That's why I don't use this deck a lot. Holy Spirit, what other messages do we have here? Imagination. They want you to feel like you're imagining all of this. So they may be doing some type of, they may have taken some type of bribe to make you feel like what you know or what you see isn't real. But it's real. Like I said, even from the other side, they want to apologize. They wanted to block your creativity, or that's what the aim is, to block your creativity, to block you from being able to connect with others, that you would never get a victory, that you would never get stability, that you would never get love, that you'd never be able to indulge in the finer things in life. You wanted to put your gifts to rest. Now, you see, there's imagining and there's daydreaming. There's fantasy and there's imagination. Daydreaming is fantasy. Or they really thought that you would remain quiet, or you wouldn't say anything, or you wouldn't take the actions that you were guided to take. Yeah. It was a ritual. Like I said, that's just confirmation. Magic, witchcraft, voodoo, obia, ceremonies. For some of you, they even married you in the spiritual realm. Okay? They may have even married you in the spiritual realm, so that you were on reserve for them. Anytime they wanted to siphon off of you, they would approach you, or they would come and they would maybe sleep with you in the spiritual realm. But they have been accosted. They're in confinement because they fell into their own trap. Okay? Yeah. They trapped you into some type of commitment, some type of They wanted you to be trapped in some type of commitment with them. They wanted to reserve you, keep you on. I'm hearing keep you on call, but it's not keeping you on call. It's like anytime their well run dry, they know that they can run back to you because they already married you in the spiritual. By doing this right, by doing this ritual, they married you in the spiritual. And now they're seeing that you're overcoming and you're over, you're jumping over all those hurdles and enduring all of the hardships that was sent to you. Okay? Enduring all of the hardships that was sent to you by you being at peace with letting things go, or allowing, by you just allowing what needs to fall away, and by you healing yourself, it's like it's breaking the spell. It's breaking the spell. The curse is now null and void. Okay? Now, this could just be a heads up that's the way that you break this generational curse, if it's something that's been happening in your family. And this is also telling me that your spiritual team is with you. So they want you to withdraw and relax and just know that all the knowledge that you need, everything that you need, this is giving me everything that you need will be provided to you in due time. So for example, even this reading, by you encountering this reading now or today, this is letting you know that either this is a heads up or this is just confirming what you already know. Okay? So this is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I love each and every single one of you, and I'll be back with more messages for you guys.